Hope y'all are having a good day today, or evening, or whenever you are tuning into YouTube today. Oh, today was interesting. Not big epiphany stuff like normal, just little tiny ones, really. And this one was dealing with a lot of, I guess, oh, what's the word? I had the word, I lost the word. We'll come back to that because otherwise I'll just blank stare at the ceiling for a while trying to think of the word. But I guess I'll just explain the concept. It's like, like when you're preparing like a surprise and you don't want to let people know because it'll ruin the surprise, that type of thing. I know there's a word, I don't know what it is, and it's okay that I don't know what the word is right now. And, like, because I haven't really told people that I'm doing YouTube, I just mostly want to take action for myself because I didn't want to have the added pressure, which is all in my head. The added pressure in my head. So I didn't want to give myself the pressure by thinking other people are judging me. And I'm just like, oh, isn't that interesting? Because I could have potentially filmed this much earlier in the day. And I was even thinking, oh, maybe, to try something different because I kind of like just talking to you guys. See if I'm like, maybe I should do something in the kitchen with stuff I'm learning or stuff I typically do. Because, it was a cold day today and it was like raining all day, and like towards like end of it I'm just like, oh, I could really go for some soup. I'm like, oh, I really wish I had a good broth. I'm like, I could just show you how to make a broth, but then the broth wouldn't be ready in time for me to eat or show you. I'm just like, oh, because if I start the broth, I probably wouldn't be able to have the broth for at least another 6 hours because I use a pressure cooker. I'm just like, hmm. I'm like, I don't know if y'all want to see me squeezing lemons because I have a little citrus thing because I like having fresh lemon juice and stuff because I'm also thinking about making stuff with it, obviously, and also having it in the morning and stuff like that. I'm like, would that be weird for me to do stuff like that? Because I'm like, okay, how am I going to position the phone so it doesn't fall? And like, is my kitchen clean enough? Well, it's very clean now because I had someone over, so it's clean enough, and it's kind of good to know. It's like, oh yeah, friend is just like, yeah, I've been to places where there have actually been hoarders, so you guys are on the low scale of messy, which that's good to know. And I'm just like, 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 because I also don't do some stuff during the day because my partner works at home sometimes, and for stuff's like confidential and stuff like that. So I have to be, if I'm doing a video, like I kind of have to be in this room because it's quiet, and then my cat will just be like, hey, you're in a locked room. You can't be in a locked room without me in there. As you sometimes hear her. It's like, oh, I'm hungry and you're in a locked room. Open the door so you can feed me. It's one of those two things. And it's just like, and it's just like, is it because I'm afraid to like tell people I'm doing a YouTube? Because I told people before, and you do it and you don't do it, and it's like people are like, but I'm like, is this all really in my head? Because I know he wouldn't care at all. I think he suspects something because sometimes he comes in here and he's like, what are you doing? I think sometimes he just thinks I'm on the phone sometimes. Whatever. But it's just like, like it's interesting, like the little mind chatter that and the little stories that we're telling ourselves. I'm just like, I know he's not going to care what I'm doing, like with YouTube. It's not like I'm doing anything scandalous or anything. I'm just talking. And I'm just like, this is all in my head. Like, why am I making up all these stories about it? And, I'm still not ready to tell, my real life people that I'm doing YouTube because I just don't feel ready. And that's okay. But I'm here with you all because, sometimes we put a lot of energy and pressure on ourselves, like, oh, we got to make it big, we got to do this. And it's like, oh, you need the group accountability. It's kind of like when you see all those people setting goals for the gym and stuff like that. They're posting things on like Facebook and web blogs, and yeah, I got to be accountable, I need people to help me out. And I'm just like, that's too much pressure. Because I know like you're excited and that's great that you can be excited, but for me sometimes I just feel like that's way too much pressure sometimes. And I've done those things where it's just like, oh, being accountable, showing up every day and stuff like that. I'm just, I don't know, I'm just at this point in my life where I'm just like, I don't need to display everything all the time to every single person. I feel like the people who are super interested will find it or figure it out. And the people who aren't, they'll just be clueless, just like anything else. So I'm just like, like I'll tell people what I'm ready to tell people, and you know, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because, like, sometimes, oh, there was a quote somewhere. There was a quote in my brain that you could probably find on the internet, which I can't do right now because I'm using my phone. I'm not going to the computer and have you all look at me, look for my computer, turn it on to try to find this quote. But it's something like along the lines where it's just like you you oh I no, it's at the tip of your brain where it's like you show people, like you don't tell people what you do, you show people what you do. And I just kind of feel like I'm more in that mind frame where it's just like you don't share all the step by step everyday things that go into the day to day to make stuff happen. I mean, you could, but I'm just at that point where it's like I don't want to. I don't feel the need to, and I'm just like, isn't it interesting that, we feel like, especially maybe it's something relatively new with social media stuff, like have to record everything. And it's like got got to show like a positive side of things. It's like you don't want to mess up or be goofy, and it's like you're trying to be perfect. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna stumble and fall, but it's like you don't have to see every single stumble and fall I do and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know, but just like maybe all this is just in my head where I'm just like, this is just the story we're going to tell ourselves today, and it might even change tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm kind of losing a little train of thought on this a little bit, but I hope someone out there is kind of getting what I'm saying, where it's just like, some, I guess really some days, maybe there's just stuff in the air because it was like a cold, rainy day today, and all I kind of want to do is just snuggle and be in bed with everybody, with my cat and my husband, just like, let's pretend the world doesn't exist today and just be comfy and warm and have soup. And I think, that's just a level of authenticity we don't always see because it's just like everyone's in such a rush to like do everything and be everything and get this done. It's like, I don't like hustle culture. I did hustle culture. I ain't doing hustle culture no more. It's just the vibe of it is just like the energy doesn't sit right with me. And for some of you who do hustle culture, and if that works for you, keep going with that. Cool. It just doesn't work with me. My body tends to run in cycles, and I can be super, super productive until I burn out. And I kind of get the feeling when it's going to happen. And sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, I could kind of plan it happening so I don't do a complete burnout, but it's just like, okay, let's take a break instead and then keep going. And I just feel like life happens. Like sometimes it's just like, no, you're not going to do that today. You're going to take a break. And you're going to take a break for a while. And the break's going to be longer than you think. And I think that's really okay. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. It's just like you need to stop and smell the roses and stuff like that. And today was just one of those days for me. And it's okay. Like every day doesn't have to be the big epiphany thing and like total big excitement every day. I would like it to be, but sometimes the excitement could just be, okay, let's just chill inside and have soup. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it for me today because I can't think of much of anything else right now, but I hope you all are having a good night, a good morning, whenever you're viewing this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.